Good morning, everybody. Please excuse my voice and a little bit of sniffling here and there. I woke up a bit congested this morning. Want to know why? Because I had the tiniest bit of pancake that contained refined flour, grain. But vegans are running around telling the whole world that it's the meat that makes it congested, that produces mucus, animal products, right? Nonsense. Absolute, utter nonsense. Veganism is nonsense. Anywho, some more bad news out of England. A subscriber sent me this video, told me to look it up. It's from Good Morning Britain, You're Fucked. And topic is, should veganism be a religion? Let's check out some of it, see how much of it we can handle.
I have begun to realise that some vegans are becoming sort of radical fundamentalists when it comes to veganism.
Piers Morgan is a buffoon, okay?
Which I find increasingly irritating. But putting that to one side, why should veganism be treated like a religion?
Because it's a deep belief.
So that's what this lady believes, right? I expect to see a lot of backlash, guys. Vegans, you're not a religion, right? Come on now, come out and support Piers Morgan.
Held belief, it's a passion, and I believe in not making others suffer. And I believe in the most vulnerable members of our society, which is farm animals, should be treated with respect.
The most vulnerable members of our society are farm animals? Really? Not sentient kids being aborted? I got no problem with bundles of cells. Hate me or love me, whatever, judge me, I don't give a shit. I have no problem with a bundle of cells being removed, life or not. I don't. But a sentient, almost baby, fetus? What about what about Palestinians? And the only reason I bring that example, there are millions of examples like that, is because vegans are always Holocaust, Holocaust, Holocaust. What? Okay, what about the Palestinian Holocaust? Gotcha! Animals are most vulnerable. Wait, did she say society?
And I believe in the most vulnerable members of our society.
Okay. Sorry, animals aren't part of our society. Maybe you can make an argument for... No, you can't. They're not part of our society. They're just not. See, this is the problem. These people hijack language and... Well, they're brainwashing you, essentially. Is your house, your property, part of your society? No, it's not. It's your property. Animals are property. They're not part of our society. This might sound harsh to you, but only if you're retarded.
Farm animals should be treated with respect. And, you know, people like me are always really...
I don't disagree with that, right? We have farm animals. We treat them with respect. To a certain point, obviously. But how the fuck do you look over the fact that people aren't being treated with respect and concentrate on the animals and call yourself ethical? How does that work?
We ridicule suffragettes, we ridicule the civil rights movement. This is the next big movement.
See? This is one of the central tenets of veganism. Even though a lot of vegans out there might not agree with this lady, you guys are fucking useful idiots for this bullshit. They're not part of our society. They're not human. Why are you humanizing these animals, right? You have to brainwash people with this idea in order to sell them on it. That animals should be... This is what I've been talking about, and a lot of you out there who disagree with veganism, what I've been talking about on my channel. Vegans don't think that there's a difference between people and food.
more important than Brexit. This is the debate about the future of the planet and how we treat the animals we share it with.
If it's treated as a religion, what would that mean for you? How would that change your life? Would you set up a church?
We would be less ridiculed. You know, we sit on.
She believes she has the right not to be ridiculed, right? You can't make fun of her. She wants to legislate that.
Plane to Pakistan. My glass of wine is taken away. I wear a headscarf when I go to Pakistan. But a man comes and sits next to me and he's eating chicken curry. So it would make...
Don't go to Pakistan and get the fuck out of the UK. So essentially, and maybe it's already too late, she wants the UK to become a stan, right? That's what she's telling you.
People respect, not just me, but respect animals and the way we treat them.
So because she feels like her rights are being taken away when she goes to Pakistan on a plane, she wants to take away your rights as well. This is exactly why this lady is a useful idiot and why vegans are useful idiots. Instead of fixing the problem, if you believe it is, as far as what happens on the plane to one of these stans to you, instead of fixing that by either not going there or whatever, or changing that somehow, trying to educate and influence people without force, she thinks that true equality is taking away your right to eat chicken next to her. Or just in general. Oh yeah, the vegan utopia is coming. I can't fucking wait.
Who's the god of veganism?
It's animals. We worship animals.
I mean, how many times have I said this? And a lot of vegans will be in denial about this, right? But this is so plain to see. These people go to these pet sanctuaries or whatever, animal sanctuaries, and they molest these animals. They kiss them, they hug them, they rub their genitals. They're worshipping these animals. They hold them like little babies. Look, if you have a pet animal and you love it, that's one thing, but these are strangers. You wouldn't do that to a human being, right? You wouldn't do that. Why? Oh, that's right. Consent. Fucking hypocrites.
All animals are your god.
Yeah, I believe that a religion...
Okay, this lady is a kook. I get that. She's an extremist, and most vegans probably aren't like her. But this is one of your leaders, right? This is the ideology that you push. This is the logical conclusion of the fucking nonsense that is veganism. This is where it leads. You might not be there yet. Give it some time.
It isn't so much about a god. It's about respecting others and
Do you eat bread? Do you eat bread?
I eat bread, yeah.
Right, you're aware that in the process of wheat manufacture and bread making, that literally billions of insects get murdered.
I'm not...
Get murdered. Yeah, I know. Great accent. Fuck Piers Morgan. I mean, he's another useful idiot for veganism and all these other social justice movements. What these people do, vegans, is they hijack language, just like the transgender SJWs, right? Transsexual, whatever the hell they are. Multi-gendered, whatever. All those freaks. They hijack language. They want to invent new words. They want to change the meaning of words. That's exactly what vegans do, because they're SJWs just like them. And Piers Morgan is a useful idiot because he picks that up and runs with it, helping to brainwash you that killing insects is murder somehow. Little kids who don't know anything, when they hear this type of stuff on TV or the internet, that's going to be their definition of murder. Killing anything is murder. Murder is illegal. Gee, what's next? Can't wait for the fucking vegan utopia.
that vegans are perfect.
No, but you're very concerned from a religious point of view. I mean, these are sacred animals that have been murdered so you can eat bread. So do you stop eating bread? I'm serious.
Sacred animals, right? I mean, why don't so many Indians eat beef, right? Because the cow is sacred. Of course, veganism, a lot of people will say it's not a religion, but that's where it comes from. It comes from wanting to curb the sexual appetite of monks because you don't want them butt fucking each other. So you make them go vegan or vegetarian to lower their sex drive. Duh.
You stop eating bread.
No, I eat almonds, I eat
you make it a
avocados.
religion, and these are sacred creatures. It doesn't matter what size they are. A little insect that you're having well, they get murdered. You ask any farmer.
This guy's a moron. Useful idiot, whatever. Instead of arguing against this idea of sacred creatures, he's essentially he's just parroting her propaganda. I mean, I guess he's against it technically, but you see how brainwashed he's become by it, and he's just echoing her sentiments. He is calling them sacred and killing them murder.
Produces wheat and then involved in bread manufacturing, billions of insects get murdered. And vegans never did.
I do care about the little guys, and actually...
Well, so you're going to stop eating bread then?
Well, I do eat bread.
Well, why? I'm an alcoholic. I do the best I can, but I eat gin, but not vodka. I think it's the same thing, isn't it?
I think it's a question of degree, and this is why I take exception to the idea of veganism as a religion. If it did have a god, it would probably be Morrissey, by the way, Piers. I don't think it is a religion, because a religion involves God or gods in my book, and that kind of ups the ante in all sorts of ways. I think veganism has I think it should be a protected characteristic. I think it should be treated with respect and dignity. I think it is about a serious commitment. It's not just a diet, it's not just an opinion. But I would differentiate between that and a religion.
You may think that this priest is correct, that he's on the right side, if you disagree with this crazy ideology of veganism, right? But he's not. He's building a bridge between this insanity and society as it exists right now, right? He's extending an olive branch. He's saying, yeah, you should be respected under the law, right? No one can insult you because you're vegan or they go to prison. Essentially, that's what that leads to. And eventually it leads to no one can disagree with you because they should go to prison if they disagree with you. That's the logical conclusion of this nonsense. But he may seem rational to a lot of people because he's saying, whoa, maybe not religion. This is something special. It's a little bit different. We're higher up on the food chain, basically. But we'll let you into the club, and, eventually you work your way up the ladder, and you will become a religion, perhaps supplant me and my congregation, right? Another useful idiot who doesn't really understand what's going on, probably. But that's what he's doing. None of these people are doing what should be done with kooks like this lady.
And shouldn't it involve bread? I mean, if bread leads to the mass murder of billions...
I can't handle this.
Sheep, cows, pigs, do I have to see...
Brilliant.
You could eat organic bread, presumably, and not have to eat the pesticide.
Organic bread. There are organic pesticides too, but that's just an aside.
I understand that birds are killed on farms.
That actually no living creature should ever be killed so that you can eat food. If that's what you really believe, and you're prepared, like some people do in Brighton, they go to storm restaurants, scream abuse.
Okay, that's a lot better, Piers.
People eating steak and play music of sound of cows.
I think there's very few vegans who scream abuse.
Shouldn't it also extend
I've never
to everything that involves any killing of animals, which is bread?
Don't you think that would include viruses, though? For example, if you were being ultra-consistent, well, then you would leave viruses alone, too.
Oh, God. Really? Really? This is just insane. All of these people are just wacky. Insects aren't animals technically, okay? And so far as we know, they're not sentient, even though that's debatable. But the current understanding is that they're not sentient. So leave the insects out of it. Talk about all the bunny rabbits, snakes, birds, rats, mice getting chewed up in combine harvesters, fertilizing the vegan wheat.
And you wouldn't treat disease.
Right, you couldn't treat disease, right?
So it's a question of degree.
You can't treat disease, so we all die, right?
Well, I haven't on this planet.
So you want to treat disease, so we all die, right?
Well, I haven't had children, so I'm not perpetuating humans, who are the most dangerous animals on this planet.
So you want to...
There you go. Antinatalism, another logical conclusion of the retardation of the way veganism exists right now.
The human race.
Well, we're destroying the planet.
So just to clarify, you just said, I think, that you want to end the human race. You haven't had children.
Did you see that? That's a happy person.
You think children are
There are too many humans on this planet.
So she agrees. She wants to curb our populations. Maybe not destroy the human race, even though the thought of that did tickle her a little bit. But there are, I mean, come on.
If we continue to eat,
are we going to kill them? What are we going to do?
If you're concerned about children, children starve because the
What's wrong with her mouth? There's something wrong there. I think she was malnourished as a child. Her chin is also very small. She's just... The priest as well. Like, there's something about people in general, but especially Britain. I don't know what the fuck they've been feeding you guys. And no offense, man. This is just something that's really difficult to overlook, you know. But the British people, like, they tend to have more so than a lot of other populations, really crowded dental arches, all the stuff that Weston Price talked about in his book, right? Underdeveloped faces, and it just... some of these people's brains being fucking shrunk by, or underdeveloped. What is going on, man? I mean, maybe you do have to have been malnourished and underdeveloped to start spewing this type of nonsense. Maybe some part of you, some subconscious part of you, feels wronged for not being allowed to eat enough animal products, because this is generally the problem. So that somehow subconsciously you want to take that right away from other people because, well, you're just bitter and jaded.
Practical way of feeding the planet is to feed plants to
Are you going to cull humans?
So if you care about children, you would be vegan, because that is the only way that we're going to feed the planet.
Who all eat meat, and they thoroughly enjoy it.
That has never been proved scientifically. This lady is just possessed. She probably couldn't even read a single study and understand it, let alone conduct a meta-analysis of, you know, studies on the impact of plant or animal or both agriculture in general on the planet, and be able to draw logical, fair, honest conclusions, right? But it's what I say is gospel, and you should, you know, you can't ridicule me. My speech should be protected by law, and everything I say is true, and you can't disagree, right? Right, Goji man? Ain't that right?
Right. I don't like celebrating the death of animals. I don't like
why we need
I don't
to be
like trophy hunting
law.
and using and killing animals for sport and fun, right? But I eat meat, right?
In the way that we have it now.
I do think that Liz's view is something that certainly deserves respect.
This guy can't even enunciate his words. I don't know what the fuck he just said. His dental arches look crowded as fuck. Look at his tiny ass chin, not the double one. Like, I don't mean to be mean to these people, but he can't even get this shit out. That's probably what's happening in his shrunken brain. Oh, it makes sense to me. Let me just spit it out. Fuck!
As integrity, it's an honourable position.
But you start talking about humans being the worst of all and saying that all humans...
But I think if you look at the human...
the most dangerous
So what's your plan for humans then? If they're so terrible, what do you do with them?
Make them all vegan.
They all have very tiny lips, narrow mouths. Their chins seem receded, right? Noses are pretty big. Is that a Christian priest or a crypto?
Make them all vegan.
Would you get rid of some
Well-based
humans,
there.
though, Liz? Seriously, would you cull humans?
I wouldn't cull humans.
You'd
I'm
prefer
saying
people to have fewer
if you're
children.
so concerned about the human race, the only way we're going to feed ourselves is by not eating meat. It's been scientifically proven.
The only way we feed ourselves is by not eating our ancestral food. The only way we feed ourselves is by not eating. The vegan utopia.
Cannot continue to consume meat in the way we do because children are
But
starving.
why don't all vegans live longer than meat eaters?
I bet I live longer than you do.
How much? How much?
Typical vegan attitude, right? You're gonna die before me. Right, Goji Man? That's funny. That's a priest. That's funny. Really? Someone said, I think it was vlog like it's like no one's watching, that the show is a pantomime. And, well, quite frankly, it is.
How much? I bet you £1,000 I outlive you.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
How long?
Did we just notice some Christian homo intersectionality there? Is that what that was? Or transgendered? What? Sorry, guys. I'm not up on the latest news and developments in the transgendered movement. Queer, whatever it's called, LGTB XYZ movement. But we'll get to intersectionality in just a second.
Do we have to monitor
Seriously?
that particular
I bet you £1,000 I outlive you.
Okay.
Yeah?
We'll
Go on
shake on it.
Go on.
Is it going-
£1,000 is I...
They're betting on who dies first. Is this a fucking joke?
Liz Jones.
Is it going to
Right,
the
where does
people,
those
people
£1,000
for
go?
the
Yeah, I
ethical
can
treatment
run
of
it.
£1,000 to
animals?
charity.
PETA.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No, not PETA. Well, let's talk about PETA. So PETA have come out today and said that eggs...
These people are given the lines, right? Oh, look, I have an article. Funny, you should mention this. This is all scripted. I mean, I'm not saying that these people know exactly what's going on. I think they're useful idiots. But they're given certain cues and certain things they have to say at certain points, and that's what they do. This shit's scripted.
You can't be a feminist.
You can't be a feminist and eat eggs because, of course, it's killing the reproductive
You
process.
certainly can't be a vegan and eat eggs.
pen.
Okay. We're going to stop here, but I need to talk about this PETA.
You eat eggs?
And I know then.
So, speaking of intersectionality, vegans being SJWs, using the same tactics, acting the same way, and being part of this SJW movement, something that so many of you vegans would rebel against. But whether you're part of it or not, if you're part of veganism and this is how it's sold in the mainstream, yeah, you're part of it. Love it or hate it. Leave it or don't. Sorry. So, PETA, and I had to sit there and think about this because they don't say it explicitly, like it should be so obvious to us, right? Like they're one step ahead of us. But I had to really sit there and think about it. Like, what do you mean eggs mess up reproduction? Something along those lines, right? Are you saying that eating eggs will make you sterile? Is that what we're talking about here? No. What they're talking about, and it didn't occur to me at first because guess what? I'm not as brainwashed as some of you people. A little bit less. It didn't occur to me that they're talking about the chicken's reproductive system, right? That we're exploiting that, or maybe it does some, I don't even know exactly, or it does some kind of harm to the chicken. It's taxing on its reproduction, right? The female chicken. So what PETA is doing is linking animal rights activism to veganism, which they've done a long time ago already, to feminism now, right? Intersectionality. Like, talking about chickens being part of our society. The fuck's wrong with you, right? But that's what this is. Veganism becomes a social justice movement because these animals, it's assumed already, I never got the memo, but these animals are part of our society. Says who? Right? And if they're part of our society, well then feminism for the chickens. This is SJW 2.0. This is crazier than any of this Black Lives Matter, transgender, LGBTQ, any of these acronyms, man. This is way worse than all that. Vegans, you guys are SJWs, or you're part of this SJW movement. It's just a continual stamping out of human rights, right? I mean, what the fuck do you think is going on? Do you honestly think that we're giving animals human rights here? Or are we giving humans animal rights? Seriously. Think about this. You fucking clowns out there, you vegan clowns out there, you need to sit the fuck down and think very seriously, especially you, Goji Man, about what it is that you're doing. Abandon that fucking sinking ship that is the UK. Seriously. You can't stop this. Get the fuck out.